everyone. Welcome to the Green and Coyote podcast. My name is Jamal.
Hey, my name is Joseph, and this is my long-lost sailor slash shipmate, P.
Yeah, you got it.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, P?
Pretty good, pretty good. Glad to be here.
Yeah. And everyone, P is a sailor in the Navy. Is that correct?
Yes, I was a petty officer for about 4 years.
Okay. So for those who was asking about Navy and had questions about the Navy, here she is. So Davis, you wanna take over?
Yeah. So as you already know, as everyone already knows here, our mission here is to inform all branches of the military, all former and current military personnel, on literally anything you want to know about the military, either while you're in or before you join. We have nothing to gain from here, but pretty much just giving people information that we didn't have when we were joining. And maybe you trust your recruiter, maybe you don't. But if you just want that secondhand advice, special questions, that's what we're here for. Matter
of fact, speaking off of that, he's someone I know that listened to the podcast. He listened to the couple we have up. He noticed that he wanted to change and get a different perspective. So he's in the application process to join, all because of the podcast. So that's kind of the cool aspect, because he's someone I never would have thought about joining at all. So to see him even taking the steps to even see if he can qualify is crazy. So that's what we're doing here, guys. But there you go, David.
So how I met P. So P, again, she's I say my buddy, like I said, my shipmate, someone I met. Very, very weird. So everybody knows, if you've been watching Mini Cooper, Small Car Gang. I was literally
okay.
So I was literally just driving down the street, and I think, I had my Mini. So I had my Mini at the time. Just driving down the street with a buddy, and I passed, I believe it's called Black Tire, right?
I was getting my rim repaired. I curved the hell out of it.
Yeah. So I passed the shop. I'm like, man, that, I saw this Mini, and I called my ex. I'm like, hey, like, I just saw a Mini Cooper that looks just like yours. And I'm like, and I keep going, and she's like, turn around. I'm like, I actually already turned around on my way back, like right now. So, and I tell you, I pulled up to this tire shop. I pass by all the time, never stop by. I parked, got out, walked inside, walked into the waiting room, and I just said, whose Mini Cooper is out there? And I'm like, that shit's nice. And then just started from there, just walked outside, started talking about the Mini. And she had actually owned an R53 before that, right?
Yeah.
R53 is what
that is a 2005 Mini Cooper, is the supercharged version. The R58, which is what we have, is the turbocharged version.
Oh, so you a car girl.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Now I see the correlation to, okay. That's pretty cool.
And she did most of the work, or probably, I think, all the work herself, right? On
my brother.
She sold it. I'm kind of telling you a story, but.
Oh, good. I mean, you got it.
Realized she couldn't stay away. Got an Acura or
I had a Lexus. I sold the Mini, bought a Lexus, got bored because luxury cars are boring unless you buy yourself an Audi, the R version. And then I got the silver Mini, bought it for a birthday present, trying to flex. Hey, turned 30, was it 32? So, hey, let's do this. Owned it for a week. A fucking Mustang. Speaking of that, all y'all military people, Mustangs, y'all assholes.
Yeah. Without exhaust.
Yeah. Hit the gas just to go 5 miles per hour. Stop.
Yeah, I hate that.
But he hit me, and I flipped my car multiple times in an embankment, totaled the whole thing out.
Golly. I'm glad to see you.
Yeah. And then bought another Mini, the same exact Mini in a different color.
Okay, right. You just had like some bumps and bruises, right?
Yeah, I had a whiplash and some bruising. That's about it.
But if you see, bro, like if the roof was like, she has the same body style as me. the rare coupe style. The roof, it's already low, and you're about the same height as me. The roof is smashed in. Like, you didn't even have the plates for the car yet, did you?
I did. I switched over the plates from my Lexus.
You transferred your North Carolina plate, right?
Yeah.
Your Panther plate. But the roof was caved in. Car was done, bro, in a week.
So,
and then she got another one.
Never worked out of it.
Are you driving a Mini now? Is that
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got it shipped out here. The only difference is it's an automatic, but I actually now like the automatic more.
What is it? ESG transmission, like the dual clutch, or?
Yeah, I got the shifters on the side. I can actually do shifting from the gear shift or from the steering wheel.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Oh, okay. So where are you located now?
I'm in Las Vegas.
Are you still in the Navy or?
Oh no, I've been out since 2012.
Oh, golly. I'm a veteran too, so.
Yeah.
So let's go to your Navy experience. So what did you do? When did you join? Like, what was your reason to join the Navy?
So y'all are not military sponsored, right? So I can say what I want.
No, yeah. So, get your shit.
All right, so get this shit. So I joined back in 2009, but actually before then, I actually joined with my best friends. But a little short story before that, we were always in trouble. We weren't doing anything like highly illegal. It was just like your normal run-of-the-mill into some shit. Because, I'm from Fayetteville, Fort Bragg area, so small military town. So we're always in some shit. Smoking weed, maybe selling a little weed. I don't know. I don't have a record.
Allegedly.
There's no record, so that shit ain't happened. So allegedly. So what changed was, and I was also very fat. In fact, I was 235 pounds at the time. That is relevant to the story, I know. But me and my friend, we would always get into trouble and everything. And then about 2007, what changed was her father got murdered.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he got murdered doing basically the same shit we were doing, but a little heavier. He was like in the heavier shit. So we were like, oh my God, we have to change or we're going to end up the exact same way. So we decided to do clean eating, and I dropped 60 pounds in 9 months. But the problem about being obese and then also being a weed smoker is that weed is trapped in your fat cells. So when you lose the weight, even if you quit smoking for a whole year, you're still going to keep pissing hot. So we tried to join at the same time. She was smaller than me, so the weed got out of her system a lot faster. She had to join with the waiver, though. I had the recruiter. Yeah. I kept pissing hot. I pissed hot every week.
And it's in your fat cells?
Yes, that's how THC is. So like the skinnier you are, like that whole weed gets out of your system in 30 days, that's actually a kind of a myth because it depends on how fat you are. So if you have a high metabolism and you quit smoking, then yeah, you could get it out of your system in 30 days. But if you're obese and you're smoking like that, it's going to still be in your fat cells until that all burns out.
Good thing I don't got to worry about that no more.
Yeah, so I surely don't. I was popping hot, but like we use different recruiters. So this is the thing about the recruiter thing. We both went to the same recruiter. We're both gay, but her recruiter kept trying to sleep with her and he was not giving me any attention I needed to join. So I said, fuck you. And I went over to another recruiter and he actually hooked me up. We did not ever file a single waiver. So that's the thing about joining.
Golly.
If there's no proof, that shit ain't happened.
God. So you said you went to a different recruiter and he got you in without a waiver. So
without a waiver. And I mean, when I say I popped hot, there was one test that I popped hot on cocaine, ecstasy, and weed. No waiver.
Golly.
Yeah.
So do you think that that other guy just didn't know what he was doing in general?
Oh, no, he knew what he was doing. He just also knew. The one thing is that people need to remember about these recruiters is they're everyday soldiers. They're not anybody special. So if they're a piece of shit in the force or in the fleet, they're a piece of shit being a recruiter.
Yep. Or if they're a piece of shit before they join the military,
it ain't gonna change. Like uniform don't make you a non-piece of shit. If you're a piece of shit, you just look good in a uniform being a piece of shit.
Yeah. Fire. Yeah, that's crazy. That's
Yeah. So like after that, I ended up, since it took me so long to have a clean urine test, I didn't actually get into basic until February 2009.
Oh, okay. Huh. So what did you join the Navy to do?
To get the fuck out of Fayetteville.
Yeah. So what job did you select? Do y'all do that? Do y'all select jobs, or how does that even work?
I really wanted to go in to be an intelligence specialist, and this is another thing they do. I took my ASVAB. I scored about a 78, 79.
Yeah.
They made me believe that that was a shitty score because they used it to fill the needs of the Navy. So it was, all my job choices were shit. Like gunner's mate, I didn't really want to be a gunner's mate. I didn't have any interest in guns. But the other option was a hull technician, and don't be a HT.
Yeah.
I mean, some people actually love it, but you're literally crawling in shit. I mean, I'm so serious. There's these tanks on the boat called CHT tanks. We call them shit tanks. That's where the shit collects when you're on.
Really?
So if something gets like jammed, because like sometimes women on the ship are some bitches, they will flush tampons on the ship. You're not supposed to do that. It clogs up the sewage system.
So someone got to get down there and go.
Yeah, and the HTs, they're hull technicians. That's part of their job. They crawl through the shit.
Do they tell y'all that?
It says it in the description. It says we'll work in hot and closed spaces. That's why I didn't do it.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
So you get. So you don't get to choose. All right. So
I got 3 jobs to choose from: an HT, which is a hull technician, an MM, which is a machinist mate, which their job is very broad. I think if I had the choice again, I'd still stick with GM because advancement is off the chain.
yeah.
So the highest advanced, like, because the thing is that y'all, were you Army as well?
Y'all's Army as well.
So y'all advancement is totally different from ours. We just take a test and then they give a percentage depending on how many people they're going to advance. So for me to make E4, I literally, all I had to do was write my name on the test. The advancement was 98%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we got to go in front of a board.
Yeah, fuck all that.
He's also
That's a favoritism system.
Yeah.
Right there.
He's Jamal's also from, or we both were in. We know each other from Bragg as well. From
Okay.
Oh,
he knows. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and then I was at Bragg, as a mechanic with Davis, and then I reclassed and I went to Fort Stewart, and yeah, I hated that.
Yeah.
No, I ain't gonna say I hate it. I'll say it's different. I'll say when you leave like Fort Bragg, it's like, I'm not that you guys got Fort Bragg, but I'm sure you've been on post, right?
Yeah, that's why I didn't join the Army, is because of Fort Bragg.
Oh, golly. I like it, but yeah, I get that.
I grew up there. I was born and raised. I'm not trying to end back up there.
So you select your job. Get back. I'm curious now. So you select your job, right?
Mm-hmm.
How soon till you ship off? And then, yeah.
It depends on needs of the Navy. My friend, when she joined as an aviation's, I think she was an ATE, aviation's technician electronics. She left the next week. Me, I was on needs of the Navy. I had to stay home for 6 months and go through DEP. I don't know. Do y'all have DEP?
I never heard of that.
It's called DEP, means Delayed Entry Program.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
It's a fake ass boot camp that they make you go to before you go to the real boot camp. I had to do that for 6 months, and then finally they sent me off.
So, I mean, I'm sure that like kind of gets you into shape.
I didn't show up.
Oh, you didn't show up. Oh, God.
The Navy was really lax. Like all the recruiters, they were like, "Yeah, this is a joke. Don't even show up." They didn't even make me run an entry PRT or a PT test. They faked the numbers, and then I just went in.
Oh, yeah. You get
so because this is like, a few years ago, from like your best knowledge or from like the shipmates you still have in, do you think it's still kind of like that now? Like people are still faking numbers, being relaxed on depth and stuff?
Oh yeah. Like the Navy's motto is sweep it under the rug. In fact, my friend, she was like my best Navy friend. She's not in anymore, but her husband is in. We all work together, and she got married to him, so it's still the same exact shit.
Yeah. Golly. Man.
Damn.
So how was your boot camp experience? Like, were you, because y'all got a PT test also, is like 1 minute push-ups, sit-ups? Right?
Oh yeah, like, okay, so y'all gonna get really insulted because the Navy's PT test is an absolute joke. We only run 1.5 miles. And the 1.5 miles, if you're a woman, you have to run, if you're under, I want to say under 21, you have to run it in like 14 minutes.
Yeah.
And when I joined, since I joined at 25, I could run that bitch in 15 minutes and pass. I only had to do 17 push-ups and 50 sit-ups.
17?
Yeah, 17. And as I got older, the number kept decreasing. So when I got out at, what, 26, 27? Nah, I forget. Maybe, no, it's been, yeah, about 25 till still. So by that time, I had to only do 12.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah. Imagine. I mean, that is the females.
Oh, the males is still even a joke too, because if you think about it, we're not really like, other than the SEALs and special, like the SWIC and, Riverines, we don't need to do type of stuff like that. We're on a boat.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And
muscle mass is like depleting as you speak. No, like being on a ship, I couldn't imagine, man. I actually wanted to join the Navy first. That was like, man, I want to go travel because they get you with the traveling. Is that real? Do you travel as much as they say you do, or?
Yes. In fact, my duty station, I was stationed in Guam, and then from Guam, I've been to Hong Kong, Singapore, the Philippines. God, we lived at the Philippines. I went to Fiji. When I sailed from Guam all the way to Portland. So we stopped by Hawaii, been to Japan a few times.
Wow. All on the Navy's accord, huh?
All in.
Love that travel.
So, man.
So how long's boot camp? What do you do there? How was it for you? What was the challenge for you? What was easy for you?
The only challenge, boot camp is really easy. Boot camp is a joke because 75% of it is indoors. With the entire time, I think I went outside maybe like 4 or 5 times, and that was just to walk to the next building for like training. Yes, there's no outdoors.
Is it because it's like raining, or is it's just really no outdoors?
They trying to train you to be on a ship? They trying to train you to be enclosed on a ship?
No, that's just the way. I guess that's just the way how they do it. It's always in a building. And then where we stay, we call them the ship. So it's a building, but we stay in a ship.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't go outside.
Wow.
Only like to maybe march to different appointments. And at the end of boot camp, they give us a victory run for graduating. But other than that, you get your ass back inside.
Wow.
Well, that's the complete opposite.
Really get another Navy person on this fucking show. Like,
yeah, it's really easy. It's so easy for us. Like, in fact, when I was leaving boot camp, they have this, if you fail your final PT, because while I was there, I only took 1 PRT, and I actually failed it. Right. So they sent me to what they call fat camp, and the fat camp has a Nintendo Wii for you to do exercise. It's a fucking joke.
Oh, stop. You're lying. You're lying right now.
I'm not lying. Also, now that I found out from my other shipmate, because when I went, they used to wake you up, because I went in a different uniform. We were wearing what you call utilities. It looked like fucking janitor uniforms. So you'd have to wake up they'd wake you up every morning, maybe at 1, 2 in the morning, depends on your name on the list, and you have to iron for an hour. Well, now we're at Digi, so they're similar to your uniforms. They don't do that shit anymore. They don't write letters. I heard they say they give their cell phones back on Sundays.
You got to iron for an hour.
Yeah, because like you have to crease. Like the Navy uniforms have to have creases, but not anymore. Just our service uniforms, because the working uniform is different now.
Yeah. Huh.
Wow.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, did Did you like it though? I mean, I know it sounded easy, but like, did you enjoy it? Did it challenge you any bit? Like,
Did it challenge me? It did, because like it was different, but it wasn't challenging the way that the Army would be challenging. Like, oh, your drill sergeant like beat your ass all the time. That challenged me. What challenged me was a bunch of dumbasses couldn't get it right. Like, boot camp will be easy if you just shut the fuck up and do exactly what you're told. They always have a problem with it.
sometimes that's all it is.
And that's honestly
Pro
just
tip.
boot camp. Shut the fuck up and do what you're
go.
told. And every night, everybody has to have these meetings, and this was so irksome. So us and our sister div, we all shared one barracks, and then one big open bay, and the next bay was the male half of our division and their brother div. So every night they would come together and have motivational messages when my ass is trying to go to sleep, saying we need to pull together. Well, we can pull together if you can shut the fuck up and just do what you're told.
Yeah. Golly, man. I should have joined the fucking Navy, dog. That sounds like a
only challenge was the gas chamber, and even that was a joke probably in comparison to what y'all went through.
So okay, but all right, I see what you're saying. What if it's just you're just physically strong and mentally strong?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was a little bitch. Like, I'm nowhere near as strong as I am now, because like I just lost all this weight and everything, and like I didn't lose weight from like exercising a lot. It was mostly through just eating very well.
Yeah.
So even though I still failed the final PT, like growing up in a black household, you're used to being yelled at. Them people were just some soft ass bitches.
Yeah, damn. I can see that. I can see. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that they're soft ass bitches, but coming from a strong household, I can see how it can be a joke. Yeah.
You were also a little older too.
Yeah, but like honestly, that was actually a humbling experience, because joining in older, you think you know things, but then like nothing is more humbling than having a 19-year-old basically be over you.
Oh man. How old did you join?
I joined at like 22.
I joined at 26, 25. And I've owned my own business. I've been in the upper management or leadership positions my whole career. Just like you said, when you get to basic training and there's a 19-year-old telling you when to get in line, I was sitting there like,
yeah, it's hard.
Not that I'm bigger than them, not that I'm better than them, but it's still just like, well, you didn't earn nothing, but at the same time, you're in that position too where you didn't earn nothing either. So it's like, it's an eye opener. It's a humbling experience. I agree with you.
Humbling. And then after a while, once you get past it, you realize, okay, y'all really do know some things. Because I had, some petty officer in charge that was like way younger than me, but they knew their job. They knew their shit. So I couldn't argue with that.
Yeah. And the military is good. They're good at that. You got NCOs that get promoted. They're like, what, 22, 23?
Yeah.
They tell you get to the end, you brand new, and
But there is one thing about boot camp that I will totally, if you guys can really avoid it, do not join in the winter. That actually is the worst time, because
you indoors the whole time.
You still have to switch from barracks. So like when I first got there, you're first put in this big entry ship, that it's not your permanent ship. And they call those P days. P days were the worst, because you wore these sweats, with the Navy PT gear, and you wear them for 3 days. They call them Smurfs. We were not allowed to shower. We barely had any sleep yet for 3 days. And then they finally issue us all our full sea bag, and we have to put it on. And then they're like, okay, now we're going to march you to your ship. Now this is February in Chicago. It was -2 and ice on the ground. We had to march with a full sea bag. Some of us had to carry 2 because some of our shipmates were, we call it limp dick, but limited duty.
Oh, profile or something?
Yeah, it's called limited duty, but we would call it limp dick.
Oh.
And so we had to carry that for a good 2 miles, and we're supposed to be in formation, so we're wearing boots, and like people are literally busting their ass all over the concrete, and like we finally get there, and this is why I say that some of them are a little weak, because we get there, and this girl, she was supposed to be our master at arms, or the equivalent of the MP. And she's supposed to be leading everything. It's obvious she was gay, but I joined during Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Yeah.
So she dropped the sea bag just from this and was like, I can't do this. I'm gay. I'm gay. I'm gay.
Wow.
And get processed out. I'm just like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, don't join the winter.
How long is boot camp again?
I think it's about 7 or 8 weeks. Don't quote me on that. It's been a
So
while.
is it true they teach you how to swim?
Yes. In fact, the way they teach you how to swim is you get one chance. Don't lie. If you don't know how to swim, don't try to, lie about it, because you don't want to be pushed off a 10-foot tower. That's not fun. Because if you lie and say you're going to swim, they make you line up in front of this tower. You climb this tower. You stand on the edge, overlooking like 10 feet water, this pool. He says, step to the edge and put your toes at the edge and count to 3. Cross your arms like this. So you're thinking you're just going to jump. He says 1, 2, 3, and he pushes your ass.
Ah!
Yes. So don't lie. If you don't know how to swim, just admit it.
How many sinkers did you see, Joe?
A lot. In fact, the Navy SEALs and the rescue swimmers are in the pool, and when they, if you drown, they'll just grab you and just throw your ass to the side.
So people join knowing they can't swim.
I was not a strong swimmer when I joined. In fact, this is kind of dumb. Like before I joined, I got carried out to sea on a riptide and almost drowned. And then I fucking joined the Navy. So,
That happened. I did so like that.
yeah.
Were you high?
No.
Me?
Okay.
Me or her?
In fact, I was with the friend that I ended up joining with. We were like, okay, God, we got you. Let's join the Navy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
How was your job training? I don't know what you guys call it, but like, how was the transition over?
Okay, so after boot camp, right, after you graduate, so real quick on a quick rundown on boot camp. So after you do your whole training and you do your final PT test, you got to do this one last thing, which is called battle stations. Technically, I can't tell you what happens in battle stations, because after we go through it, we had to sign a paper.
NDA.
Yeah. So, but I can say is, but if anybody really wants to know and they ask their anybody that's in the Navy, they're gonna tell you. I just can't tell it because this is recorded. But
I got you.
it's basically Universal Studios. That's all I can say, and it's everything that you learn, like firefighting training.
I think we got something like that, or at least they consider it something like that, where all your training come to
and it's 24 hours long. You don't sleep. And so since I failed my final PRT and had to go to FAT camp, they gave me one last PRT, and I actually passed that. So I went from that PRT straight to battle stations, went through battle stations, and then went straight to graduation. So I went 48 hours, no sleep, and then graduated. Also, don't lock your knees. So many people hit the deck during graduation.
I think I got videos of people locking their knees.
Oh, mess is funny. But after that, I got what you call A school. So the next step in your training is an A school. And my A school was still at the same place that I graduated boot camp from, which was Great Lakes, Illinois, but it's different. So you go from the boot camp side, which is it's called RTC, Recruit Training Command, and then they move you over to the other side, which is the RTP, Recruit Training Program. So that's where my A school was, but you don't go to A school right away. You actually have to go to another training. I forgot the name of it, but it's more shipboard training, because in the Navy, no matter what your job is, if something happens to the ship, everybody's a firefighter, everybody's damage control. So we had to learn more firefighting. They taught us that one thing, and this is serious though, but they taught us about dogging doors down. And they're like, if there's a fire and you see a fire, and you see the fire, and the fire's filled with puppies and your friends and everything, and they're too far away, you dog that door down, because we're taught to say shipmate self. So and that's happened. In fact, the Fitzgeralds, when they were taking on water, there were sailors in there. They dogged down the door, and when they got back to port, they opened it up and pulled 6 dead bodies out.
Damn.
So yeah, shipmate self at all times. So like,
damn.
Yeah, so if something breaks out and y'all can't battle the fire, and you try to get as many people as close to the door out after that, sorry, doors dogged down, and it suffocates the flame, or it seals off the water from entering.
And you learn that at that, what is it, like a pre-training to your full training?
Yes, right before A school, we learned that the whole damage control and everything.
Huh, that's interesting, man. I didn't think. Yeah. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't know shit about the Navy, but I'm learning.
Yeah, if you don't save the ship, then everybody dies. So what?
Yeah, I think like how there's nothing if you're in the middle of the ocean, there's nothing there. All you have are the birds that are on your flight line, and that's it. But how long does it take to do a pre-flight check to take off, and how many people can you really save before the ship burns down and all?
Yeah, it's honestly just a judgment call, because casualties are normal, not like death casualties, but we call any damage to a ship a casualty. On my ship, we've had multiple fires break out. It's normal. Like that whole fire that happened in California with the Bonhomme. Like, I've never seen a fire that huge, but I was not surprised because it was in the yards. The place is really flammable, and fires happen all the time on the Navy.
Yeah, golly. Have you personally had to fight real fires or anything like that?
Not because of my job, because the fires never got that bad. But if you are in if it's your duty day and a fire happens, then yeah, it didn't matter what your job is at that point.
I got you. Bingo. So you leave from there, and then you go to the A school?
Yeah, the A school, which then that's when you learn, because like people think that gunner's mate is just shooting regular guns. No, I worked on guns, torpedoes, night vision goggles, electronics. One of the guns that I had, the 25 Mike, was actually half computer, half gun. So like, it was so electrical up top, and then the bottom was mechanical, and it would send out rounds about this big. And like the tip of the round was so sharp that you could not touch it without the cap on it, or you'll cut your finger.
Really?
I think I know what you're talking about. It's the like the anti-air defense rounds, like.
Because my boat was not like a special boat like that. It was just a regular. In fact, the 25 Mike is a piece of shit gun because it always broke. But when it did work, it was loud. But no, it wasn't for aircrafts. It didn't even train up that high. Like my boat's mission was just to repair submarines. So the weapons that we had on there was just for basic defense. Because we usually, when we'd go underway, a submarine would always follow us. So if anything happened, that submarine was shooting a missile at them.
Yeah. That's interesting, man.
Yeah.
You don't know shit like that, dog.
I'm telling you, bro.
Boom. That's why we got this motherfucker, bro.
Yeah, the same thing about carriers. When carriers go underway, they go under strike groups. So you'll see a carrier, some destroyers, maybe some submarines underwater too.
Yeah,
like, they always
and it's like the same thing like overseas. If you see a Black Hawk take off or a Chinook, and you just think like, oh, it's by itself. But guess what's right by itself? Apaches. Yeah. You don't know they're there. Might not know they're there, but they're there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same kind. War is war.
Yeah. So after A school, though, you get orders. So they gave me a list of orders, and some of the orders came with a C school, which is a specialty. So you'll get a specialty like in the 5-inch gun, 6-inch gun, torpedoes. You can do.
But that's random that you get that, or can you opt into that?
It's attached to the orders. I purposely chose not to get an NEC because, like, all the orders were to Virginia, Norfolk, and Norfolk is the Fort Bragg of the Navy. All the higher ups is so fucking stiff. So
Yeah.
West Coast Navy is the best. West Coast, like if you want to see more of Europe, do East Coast Navy.
Yeah.
If you want to see, all of Japan and all the Asian countries, do West Coast Navy.
I got you.
West Coast is more chill. You get away with way more stuff. So I picked Guam.
Guam. I got a boy that's from Guam. His name is T-Mag. Man, he's I gotta call that guy, matter of fact. I need to call him. Speaking of, but so you got your orders. Were you excited? Did you go home in between your transition from?
Yes, I did. In fact, yeah. Yeah, because I still ain't get all that shit out my system. So I went home, met up with my friend because she was on some leave too. We ate some shrooms because shrooms don't pop on anything. Ate some shrooms, enjoyed some life, and then I flew out to Guam.
Huh. Shrooms. Guam. Party. So how was it being like the new sailor shipmate to the unit? How was your unit experience? Because I'm always interested in that also.
At first, I did not like it because with any branch, they find out, oh, we got a girl coming, and then here comes the fuck patrol.
Yeah.
And but lucky for me, I had a Facebook at the time, and they looked me up on Facebook, and they said, this bitch gay. So they didn't give me any of the good service. I ended up actually sleeping on the barge, which is this floating dock right beside the boat. It was cold as fuck. I had nothing, just a tiny blanket and a pillow. And
Really?
because I wasn't fuckable. Yes. That's the one thing. That's my biggest disappointment in the military. Yes, I join again, but I don't like how toxic it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
that's been a problem though. As we see, it's starting to crack down that motherfuckers getting called out. Do y'all got sharp and all that shit?
Yeah. We called it savvy during my time. But but it was a joke then too. In fact, the guy that was in charge of it, he was also the PT guy. This was when I was stationed out in Diego Garcia. He was actually trying to sexually harass me. It was a fucking joke. Like, I'm glad that they're taking it seriously now, but in 2009, 2010, no. Like at that time, I had to amp the gayness for them to get it. Like, really get it.
Like broing people down. What's up, bro?
Like I was like a straight dude. But then they finally saw me like, the best thing is for let them see you as a dude because they'll treat you more equally. But if they see you as a girl, they're gonna want to try to fuck you.
Some people like that type of stuff though.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, but that's the funny thing because we had some girls like that in our division. And ain't nobody really respected them. In fact, everybody knew they were the hoes. We talked shit. We didn't even view them as a gunner's mate because the gunner's mate is, I think there's like less than 10% women.
I was about to say, is it predominantly male? Because I would think gun,
It's predominantly white male.
Oh, okay. I can see that though. Like, yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, it's
but
great.
If you show up and you prove that you're really trying to do whatever it takes and really learn your job, it don't matter.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's interesting.
What was I about to say? So where have you been in country?
Chicago. Basic training. That was it. My entire career was out of the country.
Wow.
How are the cooks any good? I mean, I see they got like y'all. It looked like the DFAC on the ship be looking pretty good or something.
The officers, if y'all can join as an officer, they get good food. On Tuesday they had sushi day, and I mean like they'd have actual handwritten sushi. But the Navy's food is shit. It's not because the cooks are bad. It's because that the food that you are given is bad. Because like, I was on a hybrid ship, so it was half civilian and half military. So our kitchen was taken over by the civilians. So our food turned out pretty decently. But on a real boat, you're cranking. And cranking is, no matter what your job is, you're spending 2 weeks in the kitchen. And the things you see, like you'll see meat with green on it. And the chief, say cut that shit off and cook it. But
Oh.
I remember when we were moving food onto the ship, we had all this stamps that said rejected by the Army, rejected by the Marines, rejected by the Air Force, but we took it. I was like, oh, hell no. I
wonder if that's equivalent to what we consider hot A's out in the field.
Oh, bro. Hot A sounding real good right now.
What's that?
Huh?
Yeah.
I think what it means really is hot ass.
Oh.
But honestly, I've personally never had a problem with military army food, even MREs. I got MREs right here, I eat them all the time. Not because I can't afford to eat.
Wait,
it's just
we're not just about to go past that. Like, you eat MRE? Do you shit, bro?
And that's another thing. People always say, "Oh, I get stopped up."
I have never had an MRE. The Navy does not issue MREs. Maybe the SEALs do.
What?
We're on a boat. What we need an MRE for?
Wait, he still went, bro. Do you shit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm making sure you just eating MREs all willy nilly and shit.
Walking y'all like that?
No,
Hey,
you don't.
where you at?
Wait,
Bro, I had one time. I didn't shit for 7 days.
you had an underlying condition, bro.
No, I'm telling the truth.
Wait, hold on. You so 4 years in the military, and you say you had an MRE once?
No, I've never had an MRE.
Ever? Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to mail you a box.
No, I'm good. I don't like the packaging. It looks suspect.
Nah, some of them should be fired. I ain't even gonna lie. My favorite is that brisket entree because you get the Twizzlers in that hit. And I say hit it right there.
Hey, you ain't hitting them chicken chunks now. They got the Chipotle, the buffalo.
Oh, bro, they got the buffalo fucking hot wing one. Yeah.
But
Anyway.
anyways, yeah. I know what I'm about to eat.
Yeah. So here's the question. So why the Navy? I mean, not why the Navy, but like, could you see yourself in any other branch? If you think that the Navy is like soft, could you see yourself in any other branch?
No. Well, I would like. It's not that the training portion was soft, but then again, if y'all would think the same way between the Army now and then the Army when y'all first joined, y'all would say the same thing.
Yeah, no, I say this shit. I say this shit every day.
Yeah.
I get it. I know it's soft. I'm always interested because we in the Army, we think that the Navy and Air Force got it good. You know, we always say this shit. Like,
oh no, the Air Force do got it good though. But
see, that's what we say about the Navy too. So,
I think that we do have it better than y'all, but y'all get better equipment though. You get better armor, better guns because y'all are actually out in the field and on the front lines. But we do have it easier.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I was always interested in that. Just I know how I felt going through it. I know it sucked. Then we look at other branches like, man, they got it plushed. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, you know, like it's like saying like special forces, oh, they get all the great equipment, but they out there using their equipment, you know, or they get paid a little more, but they also get a lot of downtime. Or the same thing for, you know, Rangers or they bust their ass to get all this equipment, same shit. For Army, really depending on your job sometimes, we get great equipment, but life kind of sucks, paid a little less. Air Force, okay, you know, you got to think they need the smartest people because they're operating $1 million birds, you know. So,
the Air Force is so selective too. It's very hard to get in the Air Force.
Yeah, my brother's in there now. He's over there, Luke Air Force Base in Arizona. That's a top. That's one of them like high-end military places because they got that plane over there, that F-35. So it's like really strict with security, and you can't take your phone out really. And yeah, it's interesting. So here's so you've been out since 2012. What do you do now?
I am a trust administrator at a bank.
So, okay.
Yeah, I help rich people get richer.
I might be calling you shortly. So did you use your GI benefits for any of that? I mean, do y'all get the same benefits?
Yes, when I got out, I was actually very depressed and I went to school aimlessly and then I ended up finding out that I like trust. So that's my major.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that was that's just under finance. Am I correct?
A trust is it's like estate planning. So basically, let's say you're rich as hell and you got some kids, but your kids don't know how to spend. You lock your money away in a trust, and then the trustee, which is me, I will be giving them the money because they can't be trusted with the money. But at the same time, we're investing that money and growing it, and it'll never run out.
Wow.
Yeah. So they don't. So they might not know what's going on with the money. All they know is
They get statements. But a lot of the beneficiaries of very wealthy people, they don't care. They're usually on drugs really bad. Their lives are pretty hard.
You make enough want to be rich.
Yeah.
Or the drugs.
Anything.
And that was a question I was going to ask as well. Like, because you were in, it really wasn't that long ago, but I'm sure time flies or whatever. But things do change slightly. I'm sure 95% of what you said is still spot on. But the biggest part that I feel like you play now is like Jamal said, is like the benefits from the military that you have used. So like when you got out, like what did the military help you start? Did they pay for your school? Like what have you done? How have you utilized the military since you've been out?
I used my GI Bill, of course. Got me 3 years of school for free, but I still had to pay out of pocket because I was doing some extra. I'm in my master's degree right now, so I used my GI Bill.
You know what's crazy? Not to cut you off, but when I tell people that, and then they still hit me with, nah, I still rather just go to school normally. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Like,
like
reschooling? And then you want to so you telling me you want to turn down free schooling, but take like $60,000-$80,000 in school debt? Like,
it doesn't make any sense. And then on top of that, like if you, let's say you join and you don't go back to your home state. Let's say I decide to go into Texas instead. Well, guess what? I'm now getting in-state tuition because I'm a veteran. Don't matter how long I live.
Fuck with the vets, for real.
Yeah, Texas, Nevada, and I think California be giving some real good shit.
Florida got some sometimey shit, but like,
I mean,
Texas, like.
Yeah, Texas is that. Yeah, please go to Texas. Like they hook you up.
And if you're not in there, change your home of records to Texas. That's what you gotta fucking do. But so you use that? Did you buy you a house? I know that's
about to buy a house. When I got out, like I said, depression and everything, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I was more depressed that I'm back in North Carolina. I fought like hell to get out of there, and I'm back there, and I'm back living at my mom's house. Super depressed.
What made you get out?
I didn't have a choice. Because like at the time, right, no ill will against any administrations. But at the time that I joined, it was the time that President Obama wanted to scale back on the military. So he cut thousands of troops across all the branches. And I was one of the cuts, even though it was only one enlistment. My record was shit hot. Like I got it's called a ESWAS, which is an enlisted service warfare pin. Very important for everyone to get that because now they made it mandatory. You will not advance unless you have that. But when I had it, it was optional, and I got that as an E3. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
I got that. I was more qualified than all the E5s in my division. They got pissed at me and told me I need to stop because I'm making them look bad.
Huh.
So,
damn, you know what's crazy? I remember when that happened too.
The drawdown.
Yeah, they were kicking people out for the minors. If you had fucking DUIs,
I had a clean record. It was just that I was the one that had, because like they were just cutting, and like it was nonsensical because the people that were looking over your record were Millington, Tennessee. So they know nothing about you. They're just seeing this thin ass record and then making a decision off of that. And I just made E5.
Man.
I never met anybody who was part of the drawdown who actually got kicked out or cut.
They told me they weren't renewing it, and I got pissed. But they wanted me to stay until my EOS, which was February 2013. And I said, "Fuck that! I'm not staying here if you don't want me." So I dropped an early out chit, and they let me out in December 2012.
Huh.
Wow.
Well, even though you asked to get out early, you still have
Yeah, I still was gonna get processed out. I just asked to get out because I wasn't gonna stay there for that bullshit.
and that's what I'm having a hard time breaking down to people too. It doesn't matter what branch you in, you still get the same benefits. Like, motherfucker, that's the cheat code a little. Like, take it as like a fucking 10 easy questions on your test or whatever. Like, and then you get out, you do a little contract, and you got a head start. Like,
Yeah. I got out only 2 months early, so I still got full benefits. I got an honorable discharge. I can rejoin if I want to. Not going to, but I can.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. Man,
So,
I just wish people would understand that. The hardest thing is I'm getting with people is their friends. Like, oh, yeah, not friends. They don't want to leave anything behind. You know, like, did you feel like you had to leave, or like you're leaving? I know you came through with your friend, but like, at a point in time, did you feel like you made a mistake or you left, you know?
Because, like, my friends, because before I joined, me and my friend, how we met, she was originally my college roommate. I was in college before I joined, and I dropped out. She dropped out, and we still hung out with our college friends. But being from Fayetteville, my friends, anybody that was still in Fayetteville, they're townies. I don't want that. I did not regret that because, your friends will always, like, the first 2 years you keep coming back, you'll see your friends, you'll miss it. But after that, you're either going to realize they ain't doing shit or they're going to be gone. Nothing's going to stay the same.
Yeah. Huh.
All right. So we got about like 5 more minutes here. So I'm some key questions now.
Okay.
So first question is, if you could do it again, would you do it again, and would you join the same branch?
Definitely.
What is, if you were telling somebody who was about to join, they're about to join the military, they don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, P, I want to join the military. I want to join the military. Oh, sorry, messed the question up. A loved one. If one of your loved ones was telling you they wanted to join the military, what would you say?
Join. In fact, I'm actually currently trying to talk my nephew into joining. He needs to join. Like,
Are you?
I'm serious, because, like, before I joined, I had no structure. I had no direction. I have to say that the military gives you structure. Your whole mindset changes after you go. Like, I'm not the same person I was before I joined.
Yeah, it opens your fucking mindset. There's more out there, and it's like you don't know it all in your little townie. Like if you just said townies, like.
And even the way you live your life changes. Because, like, before that, you'd be all like, yeah, I'll dress up whatever way, this way, and whatever. Like, I don't wear shirts with profanity on it. I don't sag. I still kind of do some things like I'm still in.
Yeah, because it's embedded in you now.
People,
what else you got, David?
It's like with me, now I reclassed to a military police officer, and people that go to jail, people that get arrested, from the military, even though they might they try to do some crazy stuff, they go to jail. The jails inside of the military are better than the outside because these people they still went to boot camp basic training, they still have that discipline. They're not idiots. So they have the structure, they listen to commands, and it's like whether you get out on a good note or a bad note, you made it. Like, you're gonna carry that with you. You, even if you got kicked out, you're gonna still hold your head up high, have some pride. Like, you did something that only 7% only 1% of the U.S. population is qualified to join the military, but only 0.7% ever join.
Yep.
So
I wish more people would join. Honestly, it would really solve a lot of problems because you could tell easily the difference between someone who joined who didn't join. And you're just like, God.
But then it's
so
like, but then that could be a double-edged sword though, because if we're that same shitbag, their shitbag before, or would that fix them in, because you got the people in the military that shitbags and, they make other people's experiences worse. But it's weird, like, how do you find that balance on who you?
And that's true too. I mean, if you're gonna be shit, you're gonna be shit. But like, it also opens their mind too. For like example, I cannot stand blind patriotism, and like the people who are like that are the people who have never joined. I'm like, if you joined, you would really understand instead of just instantly attaching to something with a uniform. Not everyone in a uniform is good.
Yeah. And that it sucks because I was just telling someone this. I don't know if I was telling you, Davis. When I was at Fort Stewart, I had these like 4 young, black kids, that looked up to me, and I was real cool with them. But for whatever reason, man, they couldn't shake the shit, and I'm like, bro, like it's better, stay on the right path, man. Them dudes, like, one after another got chaptered out, dishonorable. It's just like, bruh.
I heard it's hard to get kicked out the Army.
It's harder to get kicked out than it is to get in.
They won't let you go.
Yeah, they don't want to let you go. We had this motherfucker on extra duty for a whole year.
Dang, the Navy, you breathe wrong, your ass is gone.
Man. But it's weird. That's what I'm saying, like that balance. Like, it's like, because I find myself just throwing it out there, hey, man, you ever thought about it? But it's like, damn, do I really want this motherfucker to join? And he, like,
Because you're looking at him right then as the civilian, because they could go through and have an eye-awakening experience just like I have.
You're right. I got to give him a fair shot. I just fear, like, we all know some shitty motherfuckers in there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, we do.
Are those the shitty motherfuckers people just said join?
I think that a lot. Like, for example, there was this guy that I worked with. He actually joined because he believed the whole pomp and circumstance bullshit that they feed you. Like, you're going to go and serve your country, and that is a great thing. But like how they overhype it, like when you join the military, all you're doing is running with guns and fighting and doing some awesome kick-ass shit. And then he joins, and he's a gunner's mate, and he realizes that we're flushing magazine sprinklers and painting walls all day. He turned into a shitbag. He got disillusioned. So like people need a more realistic idea of how the military works. Some jobs are kick-ass and gung-ho. And other ones, you're just painting.
What job would you say is like, not none of that cool boy shit, but what job, from your perspective, you think if you had a chance, you would go back to do it?
I wanted to work in the intelligence field. I like knowledge. I wanted to take the D Lab and be a CTI, a crypto technologist and interpreter. Yeah. If you take that job and you pass the D Lab, they fly you out to Monterey, California, and they teach you like 5 languages. And all you do is sit in a room all day with some headphones translating top secret classified messages in different languages.
Damn.
They don't test you. They don't do nothing because you're very valuable. You get $100,000 bonus.
What? Damn.
So for the people who don't know, a D-Lab, forget the exact terminology or acronym for it, but it's pretty much a language test. It's a made-up language, and it's just testing you to see how capable you are of learning a foreign language. Yeah. So people take this.
I've took one for the Border Patrol. I had an option to either choose Spanish or artificial language, which is the D Lab in civilian terms. And I did artificial language, but I should have did Spanish. I feel like I would have had a better chance.
Yeah, Spanish is a lot easier because it's got some English root words in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna link. Well, I'm sorry, I feel like I have to say this now. With all the stuff that's going on out here in the world right now, can't really say too much on that because I was briefed that I can't. But I'll say that everything that's going on out here,
Mhm.
people in the military, we're forced to be around and work around people of different ethnicities, backgrounds, and
Yeah, man.
if I get on a detail tomorrow and I got to go out and sweep the sidewalk or something with 10 other people I don't know, within an hour, we out there hanging out like we've been knowing each other our whole life, no matter what.
Bro, ain't that weird how you just gel with people? Like,
Yeah, it's the same even when you're out. Cause like you talk to someone, they'll be like, I'm a vet. Like I've met veterans that went to the Vietnam War and I'm talking to them like they're my age. We're just chilling. Like
just
it's
shoot the shit.
that bond.
No, that shit is weird. When I'm out, when I'm meeting people on my oil change thing, like when they find out that, oh, you was in the military, and it's just icebreaker. It's like you just go on with a conversation with this complete stranger, man, and
Especially if they
you
have
actually meet someone. It's cool.
Yeah, there's no strangers after you leave the military.
From any branch, though, that's the crazy thing.
It goes across, like, even though we'll still joke, you'll be like, "Hi, you Army, you don't do shit."
Yeah,
like, let somebody else.
Nah, Navy don't do shit. Don't do that, girl. No play.
Somebody who never served say something bad about the Army. We're jumping on that ass. Like, we can talk about. It's like your siblings. We can talk about you. Nobody else can.
Yep. Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, so we're gonna try to link them together so we can get a good shot of it. But if you could do it again, you said you would, correct?
Yes.
Your loved one. If your loved one was asking you, they want to join the military, and this is a loved one, so this is somebody you care about. What branch would you tell them to join or recommend?
I always tell them join the Air Force. Always tell them. I love the Navy,
bro.
But for example, I'm trying to actually talk my nephew and my niece into it, but I know they're not wanting to make it a career. If you want to make it a career, join whatever branch you want. But if it's not a career, join the Air Force.
But you have that right though too. You know what I'm saying? Like, join for whatever reason. If it's getting you out of a bad situation, do that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
At the end, you're still serving for the greater good. At the end, you're still going to find that sense of pride. I was very prideful in a lot of the stuff I did, even though I didn't join for that reason to begin with.
Yeah, if you raised your right hand and if you raise your right hand and you fight next to me, I don't care if you join because you just want some college money. If your parents say get the fuck out of my house, or you wanted that bonus, while you're here, we're gonna suck together, and that's all I know. I don't care where you join.
So let's close it out.
And if you had to give a sailor, a future sailor, some advice on how to make it through boot camp and A school, what would be your advice?
Okay, for boot camp, keep your mouth shut. Because, before you go through your P days and everything, they have this thing. I forgot what it's called, but that's basically when they're trying to guilt you into admitting something that you didn't admit on your application. Don't admit that shit. They don't know it. They're trying to fish it out of you. Keep your mouth shut. I had surgeries I didn't report. Guess what? That bitch still ain't reported. They don't know. If there's not a documentation of it, and even if there is, they're not going to pull up your civilian medical records. They're not going to do that shit. They're going to expect you to bring it to them, but what are they going to do? If you don't tell them, it ain't happened.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
And then A school?
A school, just be patient because it's a lot of hurry up and waiting just to get into the door of A school because there's so many people trying to, because where I went to A school, there were thousands of people for many different jobs. So it takes a while. So I waited in my barracks for months before I was even able to go to A school. And during that time, all we did was clean. We picked weeds. We didn't do anything, but you stay patient, it'll pay off. And don't get into trouble. And stay away from a lot of the places around the base because they will try to sell you heroin. Heroin is bad in the Navy. I'm serious. There's heroin. There were heroin needles all up the beach.
God damn.
They party different.
Hey, y'all
party different. They got heroin out there.
I'm serious. When I was there for A school, 3 people overdosed off of heroin. I did not know what heroin was until I got into the Navy.
Wow.
Damn.
Hey, somebody told me today, they said, if you got to look back twice before you do something, don't do it.
Yeah, because it got so bad that going into A school, they would search us. Like they were searching our cigarette packages and everything because there were some kids hiding heroin, black tar heroin, in the cigarettes. So every day we had to get searched for heroin.
Y'all built different.
Damn. Well, look, fucking dudes and dudettes, don't do fucking heroin.
Don't do heroin. They say, hey, it gets out of your system as soon as you do it, but that's if you live from the time you
fucking live, my dude.
And you will get caught, and then they will send you to the brig. This guy OD'd off of heroin. When they discharged him from the hospital, he was standing in the SDC's office in the hospital scrubs, getting chewed out and getting prepared to get taken to the brig. Wow. So heroin, kids.
Well, P, let's come to an end. This has been a great episode, man. There's a lot about the Navy that just put me up on game about, and now I'm looking at it different.
Also, do your research because that job is great.
You're the first female and first Navy. So.
Yeah, that kicks off our Navy episode. So, do you got any handles you want to shout out? We can tag those on Instagram and
No. I like laying low because I do work for a bank, so
yeah, that's perfect. Well, man, this has been a great episode. This has been a Green and Coyote podcast. Thanks, everyone.